Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL predictions with the New York Jets. And for all the teams that I'm doing on predictions, this is the one I anticipate the most because it's not what the Jets did last year. They went 7-10, mostly rode that season on a decent defense and Sauce Gardner. But what they added, yes, they added the big fish and Aaron Rodgers. He announced his desires to go to New York, and the Jets found a way to get him. And they kind of got him pretty cheap too. But there are warning signs about this. If you watch the Denver Broncos, they know some of those signs. Also, Nathaniel Hackett is now the Jets offensive coordinator. But luckily he's with Aaron Rodgers. He shouldn't struggle, right? But let's take a look at last year's schedule. And for the early part of their season, they had to start off with Joe Flacco as their quarterback because of the Zach Wilson got hurt. He got an L against his former team against the Ravens, but he came from behind against Cleveland and got a win. Which I think Joe Flacco, he owns Cleveland. But he lost to his other former division rival against the Bengals. No Mike White can save him that time. But once Zach Wilson came back, the team started to find their groove. But it was mostly not because of him. It was mostly because of Breece Hall. They came from behind to beat the Steelers, beat up on Miami, got a huge convincing win over the Green Bay Packers, and got a low-scoring win against the Broncos. But I think that was the beginning of their downfall because in that game, Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker got hurt. And that showed against their loss against the New England Patriots. But they were able to beat the Bills week 9. But they lost to the Patriots again on a punt return, on a go-ahead punt return for a touchdown that had a ton of questionable blocks in the back. That led to Zach Wilson getting benched. Mike White beat up on the Bears. And the Jets lost their last 6. Typical Jet way to end the season. And now looking at their highlights. The Jets rookie class they were just amazing. And it was mostly headlined by Sauce Gardner. He was named first team All-Pro his rookie year. Most already established himself as a feared corner in the league. No one bothered throwing to him, and he was the unanimous defensive player of the year. But not only that, not only did they have the defensive player of the year, they had the offensive player of the year in Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. He had himself 1,000 yards last year, and yeah, like I said, he won the offensive player of the year, but he probably would have lost that had his own teammate Breece Hall would have stayed healthy, because he was on his way to being something great at running back for the Jets till he tore his ACL in Denver. Hopefully he'll have that same energy heading into 2023. And then they beat the Bills week 9. It was mostly because of Sauce Gardner. Because every time Josh Allen threw to Stephon Diggs' way, Sauce said, he shut him down that game. And then Mike White's performance versus the Bears, which is clearly the best Jet QB performance they had this year. Other than that, Joe Flacco come from behind victory, but who cares? Mike White was him for one game. And then the lowlights. Everything Zach Wilson. From the reports of him banging other women's moms, from him continue to struggle, for him not taking responsibility for losing against the New England Patriots, he basically ran himself out of town. Well, for now, he will be traded at some point before week 8 of the 2023 season. Because with what could go down, Zach Wilson will probably come in. Someone will call about him, have him fill in, and he'll be out of New York in no time. Then the offense did not score a single touchdown in their last 3 games. One game was started by Zach Wilson. Next was started off by Mike White. He got hurt. And the last season finale started by Joe Flacco. And they only scored 3, 9, and 6 points in those games. And because of that, Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, he got fired. At their additions and subtractions, the biggest fish of the sea was Aaron Rodgers. They got them over Green Bay. They got him from Green Bay, and he became their franchise savior. Hopefully to get the Jets back in the postseason for the first time since 2010. If you don't know, the Jets own the longest playoff drought in the league. But they brought in some of his own teammates in Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb. They also added Mecole Hardman from the Kansas City Chiefs. They also added Al Woods as well. But they lost Mike White. He's now in Miami. Sheldon Rankins is gone. Dan Feeney is gone. And Zach Wilson, he will be gone pretty soon. Oh, yeah, they also added Billy Turner and Thomas Morstead, with Morstead being a former punter of the Miami Dolphins. But despite getting Aaron Rodgers, the Jets were still able to hold on to this year's first-round draft pick, which they reached and grabbed Will McDonald, a linebacker from Iowa State. But after that, not much really matters. Yes, they also added a nice running back from Pitt, Israel Abanikanda, which I butchered his name. He was a pretty good running back for Pitt. Not only as a running back, but he was pretty good as a special teams guy. I saw him return kicks for him. So with the Jets, will Aaron Rodgers be able to lift the Jets back to postseason, or will he turn out to be a Russell Wilson 2.0? Let's take a look. Okay, New York Jets. This is pretty much the prediction I've been waiting to do. So let's take a look. And you're going to start your season off on Monday night, but not just any ordinary Monday night. It will be the Monday night that will commemorate the 22nd anniversary of all who lost their lives in the 9/11 attacks. New York's going to be on fire for this game. And I got the Jets beating the Bills week 1 on Monday night. Aaron Rodgers' debut. Week 2, Aaron Rodgers go on the road to take on the Cowboys, a team he owns. And I got the Jets winning that. But even without Aaron Rodgers, the Jets seem to own the Cowboys anyway. They won the last 3 matchups. That's all I'll say. But week 3 against New England, I do got them. I think they'll be eating a bit of that. They could probably be a little cocky, but I think New England will serve firm, and they'll say, "Yeah, we still own you." I think they slip up against New England. Then week 4 against the Chiefs, that's a Sunday night game. I got the Jets winning that game. And in week 5 on the road against the Broncos, give me the Jets for that one in a low scoring affair. Week 6 against the Eagles. Here's a fun fact. The Jets never beat the Eagles. And the way the Eagles roster is, I'm sorry, that ain't happening. They have an early bye. So they're 4-2 at the bye. Not bad. Then it's the Battle of MetLife. Jets, Giants, where the Giants are pretty much the home team. I'm going to give this one to the Jets. Only because I do like the Jets roster a little more. And then week 9 against the Chargers, a Monday night game that they're hosting. I'm not too high on the Chargers this year. But week 10 against the Raiders, I don't know what it is. I think this is where I do think an upset will occur in this game. So give me the Jets, give me the Raiders week 10, and give me the Bills week 11. That way, they won't sweep the Bills. And then week 12 against the Dolphins. And this is no ordinary game. NFL first. This will be the first Black Friday game in NFL history. And I am going to give the Jets the win here. Week 13 against the Falcons. Come on now. Week 14 against the Texans. I'm going with the Jets as well. 3 home game stretch. Week 15 against the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins here. Week 16 against the Commanders. I'm taking the Jets here. Week 17.